My mic is already clipped to my blazer when I hear my father's voice cut through the lobby like a car horn. "There she is!" he shouts, and every head in the press pit turns at once. Camera shutters start machine gunning. My PR guy, Jonah, goes pale and mutters, "Oh no," like he's watching an accident he can't stop. I'm halfway to the podium, 10 steps maybe, and my brother barges past a journalist with a lanyard, dragging my mother behind him like she's luggage. He's grinning so wide it looks painful. My dad is waving both arms above his head, beaming at the cameras like he's the one who built the company. "That's my daughter," he yells again. "That's our girl." Security tries to intercept them, and my brother snaps, "Don't touch me, mate," loud enough for 3 microphones to catch it. My mum's face is shiny with tears already, the dramatic kind, and she locks eyes with me like she expects me to run over and hug her on command. "Hannah," she cries, stretching my name into something soft and owned. "Baby, come here." My brother points straight at the podium and barks, "You're not doing this without us," like it's a negotiation, and he has leverage. Behind them, the huge glass doors show the street outside, news vans, tripods, a banner with my company's logo and the words, "Acquisition Announcement." And now, my family is physically wedged into the shot, like they've always belonged. I stop walking, not because I'm scared, because I can feel the old reflex in my bones, the reflex to smooth it over, to keep the peace, to protect them from consequences even when they're the ones throwing punches. My hands go cold. Jonah whispers, "Hannah, we can delay." But the room is already live. I can see the little red recording lights. I can see a reporter's lips shaping a question before she even asks it. My dad's grin falters when he realizes I'm not moving toward them. My brother's eyes narrow, warning. My mum shakes her head like I've already heard her. I step to the podium anyway. The microphones are waiting like a row of teeth. I can hear my heart in my ears. I can smell someone's cologne mixed with the hot plastic smell of camera equipment. "Good morning," I say, and my voice comes out steady, which surprises me. A few reporters blink, adjusting because they expected chaos. Behind me, Jonah is making frantic, cut-them-off gestures to security. My dad keeps trying to wave over my shoulder like a background extra desperate for screen time. My brother leans in and hisses, "Smile," like he's giving me direction. Then the first alert hits a phone somewhere in the crowd. Someone gasps, and suddenly everyone's screens start lighting up at once. Not one buzz, a ripple, a wave. You can almost see it moving through the room. A journalist looks down at his phone, and his eyebrows shoot up. Another one lets out a low, "Jesus." Jonah's phone vibrates so hard it skitters on the podium shelf, and he catches it with both hands, like it might bite him. He shows me the screen, eyes wide. A headline has already been pushed out by a business site that must have been sitting on the story all week. "Local founder pockets. 8-figure exit. Launches scholarship fund." Under it is my photo. Under it is the number that makes everyone's eyes go greedy, and everyone's opinions get loud. My mother's face changes instantly. Her grief face snaps into pride face like someone flipped a switch. 8 figures, she whispers. And then she looks at my father, with a look that's almost excited. My brother's grin returns, sharper now. He whispers, "Told you." Like he predicted this all along. Cameras tilt up toward my family again. Someone in the back calls out, "Hannah, are your parents part of the business?" And my dad answers before I can, booming, "We supported her from day one." That's when Jonah's phone pings again, and this time he doesn't show me the screen gently. He shoves it toward me like it's a burning object. A screenshot is going viral. An email. Old, ugly, familiar. The subject line alone makes my stomach drop. Tuition. I recognize my mother's typing style immediately. It's her. It's real. It's the message I begged her not to forward around the family years ago. The line everyone is circling and reposting is highlighted in neon by strangers. We are not giving you $5,000 for university when your brother needs real help. Stop being selfish. Someone has captioned it. They funded his failures, but wouldn't pay her tuition. Now she's a millionaire. The clip of my dad yelling, "Our girl," is stitched right underneath it. The internet doesn't even need me to talk. The internet has receipts. My dad sees my face and realizes something's wrong. His smile wobbles. My brother's eyes flick to Jonah's phone, and then back to me, calculating. My mum clutches at her necklace like she's bracing for a slap. A reporter steps forward, voice bright, with the kind of thrill people pretend is professionalism. "Hannah, can you confirm this email? Did your parents refuse to help you with tuition while funding your brother's businesses?" Another reporter adds, "And now they're here, today, front and center." My brother tries to laugh it off. "This is family stuff," he says loudly. "People are so nosy." But his cheeks are pink. My mother's mouth opens and closes. My dad's jaw tightens the way it used to when he was about to turn something into my fault. I grip the sides of the podium. My fingers don't shake. My whole body feels too still, like I'm about to do something irreversible. Jonah whispers, barely moving his lips. Say no comment, and we pivot. But I'm staring at that email on Jonah's screen, and I can hear my 19-year-old self reading it in my cramped room, throat closing, realizing my future was negotiable to them, but my brother's ego wasn't. So I make the one move I promised myself I'd make if they ever tried to rewrite me in public again. I lean into the microphones and I say, clearly, yes, that email is real. The room goes quiet in that special way that isn't silence. Cameras still clicking, people still breathing, but everyone's waiting for the next line, like it's a verdict. My mother makes a small sound, wounded and furious. My brother's eyes go hard. My dad takes one step forward, as if he can physically stop my mouth. I keep going anyway. And before anyone tries to turn this into a cute redemption arc, I add, no, my family did not fund my education. They funded my brother's businesses. Repeatedly. I paid for my tuition with loans, scholarships, and work. That's the truth. My mother gasps like I've slapped her. "How dare you?" she whispers. But a boom mic catches it. My brother snaps, "Hannah, stop," through clenched teeth. My dad's face turns that awful, familiar shade of rage, like I'm embarrassing him by telling the truth, not by living through it. I look straight down the cameras, and I make the boundary public while my heart is still pounding. "This press conference is not a family reunion," I say. "Security will escort them out." For a second, nobody moves. Then security finally steps in, firm but careful. My brother jerks away, trying to posture. "This is ridiculous," he barks. "You're going to kick out your own family?" My mum reaches for my hand, sobbing now like she's on stage. "Hannah, please," she cries. "Don't do this to us. Think of your father." My dad hisses, "After everything we've done." And the words die when the reporters collectively murmur, because the email is still spreading, and everything is suddenly very debatable. As they're being guided back toward the doors, My brother twists around and throws one last line over his shoulder, loud enough to land in every clip. You're only rich because you got lucky. And I don't even flinch. I just look down at the scholarship banner behind me, my own logo beside the words First-Gen Tuition Grants, and I say into the mic, let's talk about what we're actually here for. This didn't come out of nowhere. It started years ago. I'm the older one. That's the first thing you need to know. Everyone assumes the golden child is the eldest. But in my house, it was always my brother, Sammy. He was the baby, the boy, the entrepreneur. He was also the loudest, the kind of kid who could break something, grin, and somehow make it your fault for noticing. My parents had this script they repeated like prayer. Sammy has big dreams. Sammy just needs support. Sammy's mind works differently. Translation: Sammy can do whatever he wants, and will pay to clean it up. When Sammy was 22, he started a business. It was a food truck idea that lasted 3 months. My dad refinanced a chunk of the mortgage for it. My mum bragged to relatives like we were the Kardashians. My son is a businessman, she'd say, glowing. When the food truck died, permits, bad location, Sammy getting bored, my parents called it a learning experience. They didn't call it what it was, a bonfire made of their money. Then came the gym supplement drop shipping thing. Then a cafe with a lease they couldn't afford. Then a marketing agency that was basically Sammy paying for Instagram ads to look successful. Every time it collapsed, my parents didn't get angry at him. They got angry at the world, at customers, at landlords, at haters, at bad timing. Never at the one person who kept lighting matches. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one, the good girl, the one who didn't cause problems. I got decent grades. I worked part-time in year 12. I didn't ask for much because asking always felt like pulling teeth. When my parents talked about my future, it was in vague, practical terms. You'll get a job. You'll be fine. Nobody called me brilliant. Nobody called me ambitious. I was just reliable. And reliable is invisible until you stop doing the work. I wanted to study accounting and computer science, something stable with room to grow. I got accepted into a uni program that required an upfront payment for enrollment and a laptop that could actually run what we needed. It wasn't a fortune. It was $5,000. I asked my parents for help because that's what families do, right? You don't need the whole amount. Just a push so you don't drown at the start. I still remember the kitchen when I asked. Mum was chopping onions. Dad was watching TV with the volume too high. Sammy was on the couch talking about a new opportunity, like he was about to change the world. I said, I need $5,000 for my tuition deposit and equipment. I can pay you back once I'm working more hours. Mum didn't even look up. She said, no. Just no. Like I asked for a holiday. Dad turned the TV down and sighed dramatically, already irritated. Where are we supposed to get that? He asked. I stared at him because I knew exactly where they got money whenever Sammy had an idea. You just gave Sammy $15,000 for the cafe lease, I said quietly. My mother slammed the knife down so hard it thudded. That is different, she snapped. Sammy is building something. You're just going to school. Just going to school. Like education was a hobby. Like my future was optional. Dad's face tightened. We're not paying for you to act superior, he said. You want to be a uni girl? Go be a uni girl. Get a job. Sammy laughed, mouth full of chips. Maybe she can tutor me, he said, and my parents laughed like it was charming. That night my mum sent the email. Not just to me, to my aunt, to my grandmother. She wanted witnesses. She wanted me boxed in by shame. "Stop being selfish," she wrote. "Your brother needs real help." Like I was stealing from him by wanting my own life. I didn't scream. I didn't storm out. I did what I always did. I swallowed it and started calculating. I applied for scholarships. I took out loans. I worked 2 jobs. One in retail, one doing admin for a small cleaning contractor who taught me more about business than any family dinner ever did. I ate noodles until I hated noodles. I cried in the shower so my roommates wouldn't hear. I skipped social things because I couldn't afford them, and because every time I looked at Sammy's Instagram, new sneakers, new meetings, new nonsense, I felt this hot, bitter ache that made me ashamed of myself. My parents didn't ask how I was coping. They asked why I was always busy. When I missed a cousin's birthday because I had a shift, Mum hissed, "You think you're better than us." When I brought my laptop home one weekend to work on assignments, Dad mocked me for typing like a robot. Sammy called me the bank lady as a joke, and my parents laughed like it was cute. The first time I got a scholarship email, I opened it in the uni library, and my whole body went light and shaky. It was only a couple grand. It wasn't life-changing money. But it felt like someone, somewhere, had looked at me and decided I was worth investing in. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I went to the bathroom and cried silently in a stall, wiping my face with toilet paper like an idiot. I didn't tell my family. I stopped telling them anything good, because they had a way of turning it into either a joke or a threat. If I did well, I was arrogant. If I struggled, it proved I should have listened. So I kept it to myself and built my life in quiet. Sammy kept burning money. By the time I graduated, my parents had poured around 300 grand into him over the years. Not all at once. Death by 1,000 just this once transfers. Cash for inventory. Cash for marketing. Cash for legal fees. Cash for rent until the deal closes. Every time my mum would say, "He's so close," my dad would say, "It's an investment." Meanwhile, their house got more tense. Bills got tighter. They started snapping at each other. They started resenting me for not being the one they could brag about. I was stable. Stable doesn't make good stories. After uni, I worked in finance tech, then moved into product. I was good at the boring parts. Systems, compliance, the stuff people hate. I noticed problems and fixed them. I built tools that made things smoother. I ended up starting something on the side with a colleague, a platform that helped small businesses handle invoicing and tax without drowning. It was genuinely useful. It grew, slowly at first, then faster. Those early years were brutal, not glamorous. There were months where I paid contractors late because I was choosing between payroll and my own rent. I remember sitting in my car outside a client's office, hands shaking so hard I couldn't type, because I'd just realized we mispriced something, and we'd lose money delivering the contract. I remember waking up at 3 a.m. with my stomach clenched, thinking about fraud risk and support tickets, and whether I'd ruined my life for a product nobody even wanted. My family didn't know any of that. They only saw the surface when it started to look like success. They'd ask, "So, are you still doing your little computer thing?" And I'd say, "Yeah," because I refused to feed them details they could twist. The moment everything shifted was the first media mention. A small business blog ran a piece on us. It wasn't even a big outlet. Just a little feature with a photo of me holding a laptop. smiling awkwardly. My mum shared it on Facebook with the caption, "So proud of my daughter." Like she hadn't called me selfish for wanting tuition. Like she hadn't told half the family I thought I was better. Like the email didn't exist. Sammy texted me the same day. "Need to talk business." When I didn't reply fast enough, he called. "So," he said, casual, like we were mates. "You've got money now?" "I have a company," I corrected. "Same thing," he said. "Listen, I've got an idea. It's actually solid this time. Mom and Dad can't help. They're tapped. But you can. Family, yeah?" He said family like a key he thought would unlock my bank account. I laughed once, short and sharp, because I couldn't believe he was that consistent. "No," I said. There was a pause. Then his voice dropped cold. "Don't get ugly," he warned. Ugly. Like refusing to fund him was uglier than him draining our parents for a decade. Like boundaries were violence. My parents took his side immediately. Mum called me sobbing, saying, "He's depressed, Hannah," as if my wallet was medication. Dad texted, "Don't forget who raised you." That one made me sit down because it hit the nerve they always hit. Guilt. Obligation. The idea that love is debt. I didn't cave. Not because I was strong. Because I was tired. Because my whole adult life had been me crawling forward while they invested backward into my brother, and then acted like I should be grateful for the privilege of watching. When the acquisition talks started this year, real offers, real lawyers, real numbers, I kept it private. I told my team. I told my closest friends. I did not tell my family. I knew exactly what would happen. They'd show up, attach themselves, claim me, rewrite me. And that's exactly what they tried to do today. Back to the present. I'm standing at the podium with cameras pointed at me while my family gets escorted out. My mother crying. My brother shouting. My father looking furious like I've embarrassed him in front of the world. Jonah leans in and murmurs, "We're on every platform." And I can see he's not even exaggerating because a reporter's phone screen is already showing my face with live captions underneath. I finish the press conference on muscle memory. I announce the scholarship fund. I say the amount out loud, $5,000 per student. On purpose. Not as a petty wink. As a fact that sits in the air like a weight. The reporters catch it immediately. Someone asks, "Why 5,000?" And I look straight into the cameras and I say, "Because it's enough to change someone's start." My throat tightens on the word start, but I don't let it crack. When it's over, Jonah drags me into the back office like we're escaping a fire. My phone is vibrating in my pocket so hard it feels alive. I don't even need to check. I can hear the chaos through the muffled buzz. Jonah's assistant holds up a tablet with notifications stacking. Interview requests. Investor congratulations. Hate mail. Support messages. And, like a parasite on top, my family's numbers calling over and over. I finally look. Missed calls. Mum, 7. Dad, 5. Sammy, unknown number, because I blocked him last year. Aunties, cousins. The family group chat is exploding with messages like, "Delete it. How could you say that Sammy is suffering? You're making us look poor. Call your mother." And then, from a cousin I barely remember, "LOL. She really aired them out." A new message pops up from my dad. "You owe us. We sacrificed for you." I stare at that line until my eyes feel dry. Jonah says, "We need a clean statement." And my lawyer, because yes, I have a lawyer now, which my younger self would have found laughable, says, "And you need a safety plan." Your brother looked volatile. I exhale slowly. The room is too bright. My jaw aches from clenching. I feel like I'm carrying a whole life in my chest. Then I do the last bold thing of the day, the one that makes it clear this isn't a temporary scandal. It's a line. I type one message to my parents and my brother in a group text. 1. No arguing. No debate. Do not contact my staff. Do not come to my workplace again. If you want to communicate, you'll do it through email. I'm done being your emergency fund and your family joke. I hit send. Then I put my phone face down on the table, like I'm refusing to let it control my breathing. My mother replies instantly with a voice note. I don't play it. My dad replies in all caps. Who do you think you are? And then another. We made you. Sammy sends a single text that is somehow both childish and chilling. You just made an enemy. I don't respond. At the end of the day, when the cameras are gone and the building is quiet, I sit alone in my office with the scholarship paperwork spread out in front of me. Real documents, real numbers, real students who will actually benefit, and my phone keeps lighting up like a lighthouse. I watch it ring and stop. Then it lights up one more time, and this one hits differently, because it isn't my family. It's my university. An email from the financial aid department. We've received a surge of applications and donations referencing your announcement. Thank you. I stare at it, chest tight, and I realize something simple and brutal. The money my parents refused me didn't stop me. It just changed who I became when I finally got it. I pick up my phone, open my dad's last message. We made you. And I type one final reply. Just one sentence. A boundary that doesn't beg. You didn't make me. You tried to price me. Then I block the numbers. All of them. Mum, Dad, Sammy, the aunties, the cousins who only showed up now that the world is watching, and for the first time since I was 19, and reading that tuition email with my throat closing. The silence that follows doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like mine.